Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel In Your 20s. I'm Jill.
And I'm Allie.
And today's topic is going to be a little different. We have a bunch of questions, pretty much about like hooking up.
Mm-hmm.
What we think.
Some of our personal stories, which is always
it's always our personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It's fine. Oh, literally didn't even spell.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
There we go. I kind of forgot the question.
Me too. Alright. What's your opinion on guys trying to talk dirty during sex?
Sorry? I feel like my parents should not watch this episode. I don't mind.
Really?
Like, yeah. I think it just, if you're just laying there and like there's complete silence and there's just like the noises, like I kind of hate that.
Oh, I hate that too.
So I feel like,
but like, what is too much? You know, like, like I feel like there's times when it can be like way too aggressive.
I've never,
like, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is I've never had like a too much experience. I've never been like,
where you're like,
I've never been like, oh my god, why did you say that?
Excuse me. I mean, me either. If you don't want to talk, you can't just lay there lifelessly. Like, you have to make some kind of sound.
Well, of course.
I know, but like sometimes it's silent. You're right. It's
which
literally
is
it's like you're doing your thing.
Like the world's smallest violin.
Literally, and like going to work, and they're just like, it's like, are you awake?
Yeah.
Is anyone alive out there? You know?
Yeah, I know.
You have to like, if you don't want to say anything, if you can't think of anything to say, you gotta make a sound. You gotta
make a peep.
Hey, a deep breathing.
You gotta let them know you're there.
A deep breathing sound. What's too much? Cheers.
I don't know. I mean, like, truly, like, I don't know. I don't know. Sorry. Hey, like, literally say anything you want. I don't care.
Call me anything you want.
So, next one.
So, make sure that they know you're alive, but don't be a psycho about it.
Okay. One hookup regret. What is your... How much time do you guys have? You go first.
I would say my one regret is when I was in high school, I started hooking up with this kid who was in my grade who like had a girlfriend in my grade who was really popular and really pretty, and they had just broken up after like 3 years, and then I was the fucking rebound, and I was not liked that year. I was like the outcast. It was like, oh my god, Allie Hayes did that.
Yeah.
That, like, if I could go back in time, also like not worth it.
Right.
I'm sure you're watching.
The amount of times, if you can relate to this, the amount of times you've probably hooked up with someone and then woken up the next morning and been like, oh, so not worth it. It's the worst feeling in the world. I mean, hands down.
Yeah, I'd say.
Alright,
continue. Alright, well, you didn't say yours.
Oh. What was my one regret, my like one like bad hookup regret story was that kid freshman year and everyone kept walking in.
Please tell the story.
Okay, so I was a freshman in college, and I was in my dorm room, my own personal dorm room.
Yep.
And my roommate was like in another room.
In my room.
Yeah.
So me and Jill lived right down the hall from each other.
Yeah, we were like neighbors.
We had a whole hall full of girls. There was 13 rooms of girls. And I was having...
And we were all friends.
All great friends. I was having like a party in my room.
So, for like the longest time, I'm like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with this kid. Like, I literally want to marry him. I want to hook up with him so bad. We were hooking up.
Not weird.
Like, fully not clothed. And
on the little twin bed.
On the tiny twin bed. And all of a sudden I hear like a jiggle at the door. And I'm like, oh my god, this can't be happening. This girl just walks in out of nowhere.
Who
She's like,
wasn't our friend. Like, she wasn't.
Yeah.
She was an acquaintance.
She just like, didn't even stutter. She walks in, she goes, sorry, I forgot my bag.
She's like, sorry, sorry, sorry. She goes in.
As if you're there.
Well, I did go in.
You did?
Yes! She could not find it. It was so dark in there, and she didn't have her phone.
Hey.
You're like, play dead. I'm sleeping. So she comes back in my room and is like, I couldn't find it. I need
She's
someone
like,
to help me.
sorry. Like,
I need someone to help me. And I'm like, oh my god, I'll go do it. Fine. Because obviously me and Jill were best friends at the time. So I'm like, she won't mind. So I walk right in. I'm like, hey Jill. Sorry.
kid's like,
Still can't find the bag. I still couldn't find it. So I left and the girl went back in for the third time.
I interrupted 3 times.
And she did find the bag.
And I didn't know this kid at all, so we couldn't like laugh about it. Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
No.
And he was old. He was
like a senior.
He was a senior, I think.
That's nice and embarrassing.
yeah, right? So, and then we just stopped right there, and he put all his clothes back on. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. This is the fucking funniest part of the story. So he puts all of his clothes back on, and he's like, alright, like, I'll see you later. I'm like, okay. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, like, good morning. Have a good morning. So we lived on the ground basement of Washington.
Yeah, we did.
So I'm like, do you know how to get out? And he's like, you could take like a right or a left, but like you took the left to get out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you know how to get out? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So like he leaves, he gets dressed. I'm still in my room, I get dressed. It's been like probably like over like 6-7 minutes. I go to walk back into her room because all of our friends are in there.
Oh god.
I open my door and I like peek down the hallway. He's like
a mime. He's like, oh my god.
And he's still in the hallway. I'm like, so you don't know how to get out? And he's like, no. I'm like, the stairs.
Hey, this way.
Like, the stairs are literally right there. Like, he was stuck in this hallway for like 7 minutes.
He's like pacing back and forth.
He's like, come on. He's like, okay, I can figure this out. It was literally like a right or a left, and like he had gone so right.
You had to go left.
He's in a common room.
That's hilarious. That's a really good story.
I know.
So sorry. So funny.
Yeah.
Alright.
So I guess that's my long story.
That's funny. Oh shit. Alright, ready? Worst hookup story. Hey. Okay. On me and Jake's like first official date, he brought me to the Bruins game. We had luxury like box seating in like the Heineken lounge. They served like fried rib and mashed potatoes and
A side of veggies.
we're going home and I was like living in his dorm room pretty much. Like we spent every second together. So we get home. Obviously, I'm so hammered. So I'm already so hammered. We go home. He's like, let's just like hang out and have a couple more drinks. So by the time we go to bed, I'm like, phew, hey, don't remember like hardly anything. Because it was our first date, I'm like, I need to treat him. So I throw on some tiny little black sheer lingerie.
She's like, baby.
I'm like, hey, oh yeah, look at me. I'm like, you see, you want a piece of this? He's like, no. That's actually what I sound like when I'm drunk too. So anyway, he like lays on the bed and I get on top of him and we start like making out. And I like sit up and I'm like, he's like, what? I'm like, I'm just fat and ugly, aren't I? He's like, what? Looking up at me like, what are you possibly talking about? Hey, I curled into the fetal. I'm in tiny little black sheer lingerie. And I just like curl next to him in the fetal. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm sorry. I can't do this. And he was like, okay.
Who did I just start dating?
Right? He's like, that was a great first date. Thank you. So that was embarrassing, for sure. That was tough. Like, I woke up the next morning and was like, so, baby. Anyway. I, like, woke up still in the lingerie.
So embarrassing.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was my sophomore year. I think it was like the summer after my sophomore year, like right in the beginning. Me and my ex-boyfriend were like kind of taking a break. So like, you know what happens on the breaks. The breaks get a little. So me and my friend, we go. She's like, oh, like I know these cool boys. Like I like knew them all through middle school, through high school, blah blah blah. She's like, they have this house. Like I think it was like down the Cape or something. So we get there, and we're obviously like pounding booze. We're playing drinking games, whatever. And there's this kid there, and he honestly couldn't have been better looking. So I'm like, right when we walk in, I'm like, mine.
Call dibs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then all night we're like kind of flirting, whatever. So then like it gets like later in the evening and we go to like a guest bedroom or whatever. This is just like kind of a side note, but like I have a really small chest area, like just small. I'm just like very small up top.
No titty committee.
So we're hooking up and he's like grabbing on to my chest and he's like. And he's so blackout. He's like, oh my god. He's like, no. He's like, your boobs are so big.
Hey, you're like.
So then I'm like, okay, he's blackout, and he just keeps going. He's like, you have the most amazing like boobs I've ever seen. Like they're so big.
He's like,
it is just my chest bones. I'm like, is this kid for real right now? And like I was way less drunk than he was, so then like that goes on for like a couple minutes and then
you're like
he obviously had his eyes closed and was just picturing someone else.
He's literally just fantasizing. He's like touching.
He's like, oh, they're so big.
Oh, your sternum. He's touching your sternum. He's like, ooh, yeah, that is so big.
So I'm like, okay. So then, whatever, long story short, my friend ended up walking in and she was like, let's go, we need to go, because she ended up having a horrible sex story too.
Oh,
so I just
said, see ya, and my big tits are leaving.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
You're like, hold on, I gotta go.
I don't want to crush you.
Hey, like, 5 foot turn, excuse me.
A complete 180. I slap him across the face.
He's like, boo! Oh!
So, that was a pretty bad one. That was, like, embarrassing, because, like, I, like, wanted to laugh and be like, are you okay?
Alright, ready? Alright, guys. As a guy, what is the best way to make the first move? This is crucial.
Yeah. I feel like I have a good story to tell that's like kind of like not the right way to do it, for sure. Though it did happen.
Okay.
But anyways.
I know the story.
So,
go ahead.
I was with like a really good friend of both of ours and didn't think there was like any sexual tension, didn't think it was going to happen at all.
There was like a 7% chance.
Yeah. Yeah, which just says nothing.
It's nothing.
So, we were all hanging out. It was after like a huge night out of drinking, obviously, and we were all,
the 3 of us were in bed together,
just like laughing and talking and like
about life.
Yeah.
So normal.
And then, like all of a sudden,
me and Jill are laying next to each other like this.
Yeah, we're like laying down, like, and like said boy is like right here, like facing John Doe's right here, like facing us, talking to us. So like we're like talking to him.
And we're laying down. We're just completely chatting.
Yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like
he just crawls.
He just like pounced on me.
Go ahead, crawl to the camera. Do what he did.
Just like a slow, a slow crawl, and then just like started like going at it, and like
to your neck.
Hey, I'm laying there. She's right next to me.
I'm like
She's
this.
still next to me. I'm laying there. I'm like this. What's going on? He's just kissing my neck like uncontrollably. So then I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, hold on a second.
That's 7% chance. That 7% chance might have just like hiked up the ladder a little bit.
Now we're at 47.
She's laying there. Hey.
I'm like, Because we're also still talking.
Yeah, like
I'm like, so anyway, Jill, how was your lunch today?
Like,
we're still the best lunch. And she's
still
like,
laughing. We're still laughing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like still a thing.
And I'm looking at her and I'm like, is this gonna stop? Or what's gonna happen here?
So bottom line is, that's not the right way to do it in under any circumstance. But
I looked at Jill and I said, want me to go? She said, and I said, oops. And I left.
Well, I think that it's like totally appropriate for like the guy to make the first move.
Absolutely.
But it needs to be like a mutual thing.
Like you can tell that there's some tension.
Had I been laying there like, you know, but I'm laying there like just and
like in like a sweatshirt and some like baggy shorts.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah.
so anyway,
tonight was fun. He just came out of left.
Yeah.
And like,
but I also think like girls should definitely like initiate the first move because that's like pretty much always a safe play. Like if they're single and like, you can tell they're into you, then like
they're not gonna be like whoa,
slow it down, Susie.
Yeah. Hey, that's my mom's name. Let's not use that name.
Sorry, Susie. I think that if you can tell that there's like a mutual thing, like if you're sitting together at like a party or something, like give a nice like hand on the thigh.
Yeah.
Give it like test the water. You don't just like jump in and you're like
yeah.
Like
or be like oh my god, I can tell you the funniest story. You know what I mean? Like get like the hands on like the body.
And also like as a guy you should be able to tell the girl's body language. Like if a girl's like sitting there and she's like
like hello.
It's like, I mean, dude, come on, she's ready. She's in.
Yeah.
You know? That was good advice.
It was good advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Lights on or off during a hookup?
Turn them the hell off. Turn them off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Even, okay, like, I have a totally different perspective on this because I have been dating my boyfriend for so long, and we're obviously so comfortable with each other's bodies. I, like, whenever, in the daytime, I'll, like, walk out of the shower. I don't give a shit. But when it's, like, time to be intimate, like, if the lights are on, or if it's, like, sunny out or whatever, it's just, it brings my mood down so much. It makes it just, like, so not sexy to me. Because then, when the lights are on, it's, like, or it's daytime out or whatever the circumstance, you just feel a lot more self-conscious. Like, even if you have the best body in the whole world, the vibe just, like, isn't there.
Yeah. If the lights are completely off and it's dark out, you're like, fuck it. I'm gonna...
freaky. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You do your thing.
Yeah. But like,
But I also get it... Sorry. I just completely cut you off. I'm a little drunk, sorry.
Hey. Sometimes I'm like, oh, the lights need to be off. But if they're not off, I don't really give it a thought. You know what I mean?
If you're like in the moment,
yeah.
It's like
I would never be like, please go shut the lights off. You know what I mean?
Oh, like I do. But I do also understand like when, like, sometimes whatever it will be like pitch black, and Jake's like, you gotta like, can we turn the TV on or something?
You need
and mute
something
it? Because he likes to be able to see like
the body,
me. But I'm like, I could care, like, no offense, but like I don't need to.
I know.
I think any girl would feel the same way. Like, I don't need to stare at you. I'm not looking at, like, your chest bounce around.
I mean, I can feel your body. So,
right.
like, it's fine. Just...
Like, I just think a guy likes the visual thing of it.
Yeah,
so I get why they want the lights on. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, full-blown lights on or daytime, like, I'm out. Not into it.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I think we did pretty good. It's definitely a trip down memory lane.
That's for sure.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Of course, always.
Make sure you follow us on all social media.
They will be posted in the next slide.
Very cute.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We hope you enjoyed this video. What week is this?
Week 4.
Week 4. See you next week. I feel like this is the longest intro.
It's called an outro.
Whatever. So, that's it.
We love you guys.
Thanks for the support. See you next week.